Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Land Bodybuilding. Mountain. Somebody in the comments asked me, why do I go mountain? You know, why do I say mountain like that? It's not because I'm insane. It just started as a joke of me mimicking a wise man in the woods and talking like, you know, some guy that's been living in the woods by himself. And then that's how it kind of came to be. And then it became a greeting on this channel. It's not that I'm incapable of saying mountain just by itself. So in case you guys are confused about that, there's your explanation. So anyway, today I'm going to do some bench in the garage and a little bit of upper chest. I'm going to do some lighter incline. This is my 4th workout since I've been sick. I'm still clearing that thing out. It's almost gone though. I'm close. I'm close to almost being perfect. At least I'm good enough to work out anyway. So yeah, right now I'm just clearing out the flu and yeah, I'm going to do some light bench and then I'll move up. I might go a little bit heavier. We'll just see how I feel. But one thing that I want to say, and this is a very valid concept for you guys to embrace. And you know, the hard part about making YouTube videos is that the last thing you want is somebody coming across as a person giving you a lecture, you know, telling you what to do. But at the same time, when you're educating people, you are suggesting at least some things for them to do with their life, whatever part of the journey they're on. When it comes down to their training, I mean, this channel, we're talking about lifting weights and trying to get in shape and be healthier and so forth. But the one thing I want to say is that some of you guys are not listening to the moment, you're listening to your head. And what you do is you go on a Google search and you find information, a lot of it is contradictory, and then you try to find the truth through that. And an example of this is back in the day, I talked to lots of people in the gym and a lot of guys struggling with different issues in their life. And funny enough, a lot of the guys who were drug addicts, right? They had the most grandiose, detailed explanations and justifications for what they were doing. And it all sounded intelligent to them, you know, because it was based on the information they had. But of course, once you fast forward 15 or 20 years later, you know, their life became a train wreck. So what I'm going to say here is that there are some things that I am aware of that some of you are not. But you've come up with information to justify certain lifestyle choices. And I'm going to let you conduct that experiment. But what I'm going to say is that if I disagree with you, it's not because I just have an idealism. It's because I have seen and experienced firsthand through watching many people disassemble themselves in very creative ways. There's reasons why I say what I say and why I am totally drug-free, why I don't believe in hormone replacement therapy. I don't believe in using dope. I don't know why so many guys on the internet think that if you have long hair, then you must be into marijuana or some shit. I'm not into any of that stuff. I'm totally drug-free. The only highs I get are through meditation and through being here in this moment. So I don't know who needs this explanation, but I get these comments from time to time where guys assume that I must be into some sort of weird alternative lifestyle just because I have longer hair. You know, this is a lazy choice. This isn't a fashion statement. You know what I'm saying? Like, so anyway, all I'm going to say is that I'm trying to help you guys expand your own awareness so you can make your own decisions. But if you notice that I've made certain decisions in my life, there are reasons why. It's not because I read somewhere something. There's an internal compass I go by that guides me, right? Which is what I'm trying to get you guys more in tune with. So the truth is that you will never be able to teach somebody awareness. All you can do is guide them to it, and then eventually they will start to come to leaps of reality, you could say, a deeper experience of reality, which will help them make better choices when it comes down to what weights to lift, what food to eat. And yeah, this is a constant journey, right? The path never ends, you know, the wisdom journey continues. So yeah, I'm by no means done this journey. I'm still learning some stuff myself. So anyway, yeah, that answers that. So let's do a warm-up set here, and then let's see what subjects come up as we go. Now, I just had somebody in the comments, you guys, ask me a question about like how should they work on a weak body part and keep the same split. So what would I recommend? What I recommend is changing the split that they're doing altogether, or would I recommend adjusting something? So there's a number of different ways to do this. There's a number of different ways to work on a weak area. So if you feel like an area is lagging behind, one thing you can do is cut down on some of the sets that you're using on your strong body parts. So say you have really great leg development, you might want to cut back on the training in that area, like maybe cut back a few sets so that way your body's not so busy feeding that area full of recovery. Because we know when you train legs or when you train back that there's a lot of muscles, a lot of immune system and nervous system, a lot of CNS type of stimulation. There's a lot of stuff going on there when you use those big muscle groups, which is great, but it can rob you of recovery for certain areas. And I've talked about this story before, but I saw a guy, he got in an accident and he broke one of his legs and he couldn't train legs for 6 months. He had some surgeries and all this kind of stuff going on. It was a very complicated injury. And his upper body actually finally started to break through certain barriers that he was stuck at for a long time. So his bench started to go up, all these things started to happen, which is kind of counterintuitive for most of us natural bodybuilders, because we're like, hey, you got to stimulate that central nervous system to stimulate the overall system. And then your body starts to produce hormones and so forth to help with building muscle mass. But there's also a point of diminishing return where it can impede your recovery if you do it too much. So when this guy stopped training legs, I guess he was chronically overtrained, so much so that when he started to use all of his energy towards training upper body muscles, his upper body started to grow. So this is what I'm saying, is that you might want to back off on the intensity in the areas where you feel that you are strong and really well developed, and then start to put more intensity or more volume into the areas that you feel are lagging behind and see what happens. This is just one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is changing your split altogether so that you have a day where you just concentrate on those weak areas and you have a designated day on top of maybe the workouts you're already doing for those areas. So say you're doing a 2-day split and you train all the body in 2 days. Well, then on the third day, maybe you do a little bit of extra sort of finishing work on a muscle group that you feel is lagging behind. And that could do some wonders. Like that might help you. But I still would recommend on cutting back on the volume and intensity on the areas that are your strongest muscle groups. So that way that recovery you do have, that the resources you do have wrapped up in building those bigger muscle groups are now going to go towards those other muscle groups that are lagging behind. You see what I'm saying? So this is a great strategy and it can work, right? Because we know that you only have so much recovery, so you want to disperse it, accordingly. But sometimes you'll have certain, let's just say, recovery hogs in your system, like recovery piranhas, right? So say your ass is growing like crazy from squats, like maybe your ass is hogging all the recovery and then these other areas are lagging behind. This can be a thing. It can happen. So that's what I'd recommend, is experimenting with that and see what happens. I think that was a very intelligent response to that comment. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm pretty impressed. Okay, let's do another set. It's coming back. That's my fourth workout back. So yeah, the reps are starting to come back. The glycogen is starting to return back to the muscles so I can get some extra reps. Usually I got another 5 or 6 reps on a set with 225 like that. But yeah, the glycogen is still returning. The groove is still coming back. And then the next couple workouts, I'll have it all back. So that's how it works. Now what happens every time I bench press and I show it on YouTube or Instagram or something, people are like, why aren't you touching your chest? Why aren't you putting the bar down to your chest? And again, I've talked about this at length in all of my strategic range of motion videos and so forth. But one thing I want you to put in your arsenal or in your bag of tricks is to understand that sometimes doing something because you feel like it, especially when you're in tune with your body. I'm not talking about people who just feel like they're lazy and just don't do anything because they're, you know, just following their laziness and what's easy. But when you're doing something and it feels right when you're training, sometimes it's okay to follow that. And I find that when I come down lower with barbell bench, sometimes there's a little bit of a twinging, weird feeling I get in a rotator cuff area where I basically tore something in hockey, right? So the bottom line is that I try to stop before I hit that area and then keep that tension on the muscle. And therefore I get a great workout, a great pump, and a great feeling of well-being. And the reason why you want to honor this is because you're trying to work with the body, not against it, not constantly forcing it into a snap sort of situation, right? So there are some people that got great chest development just from floor pressing, where their elbows hit the floor and then they come up again. They don't even bother going past a certain point. And I think that's a very valid point. As you guys know, with my squatting, I don't go below a certain area because I feel like the stress leaves my legs altogether and starts just to transfer to the knees. So there are certain truths that will reveal themselves to you. The body will reveal these truths to you, but you will not find them through watching somebody on the internet. They will tell you what they found to be true for them, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's true for you. So that's why you have to also bring in the sensation or the wisdom of sensation into this whole paradigm of lifting weights and exercises. Mountain. I hope this video helps you out and answers at least a few of your questions when it comes down to bringing up some weak body parts or finding the right range of motion for you and so forth. I will be uploading another part of this workout in the next few days, so make sure you tune into that. And thanks a lot for watching, guys. And if you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalgalantbodybuilding.com. And thanks a lot to the page supporters, and take care for now. Mountain.